Welcome to Eternal Manna, the daily devotional broadcast of Grace Gospel Church. We are looking at Philippians chapter 4 and verse 3. And we are looking at some of the names that are mentioned in this verse. Two sisters who are actually named, Euodia and Syntyche, who were diligent workers for the Lord, but who had a fallout. Then we have the true yoke fellow. Then we have Clement. And then we have this larger group called fellow workers. And we are looking at the characteristics of a fellow worker. And we have looked at 5 already, and they all begin with the letter S. And just to refresh your memory, number 1, they worked submissively under godly leadership for the purpose of accountability. Secondly, they worked steadfastly. They were faithful. They refused to be distracted by lesser causes. Number 3, we said they worked sacrificially. They gave up comforts and conveniences for a higher cause. And number 4, we said they worked strenuously and with stamina. They were tireless. They were hard workers. They were not lazy. And number 5, we said they used their spiritual gifts. And the Lord in His grace has given gifts to the church. Yes, there are officers, but there are also personal gifts that the Lord has given to each believer. It is my personal opinion that each believer has more than one spiritual gift. And just imagine what happens when we all come together and put our spiritual gifts together, put them to good use, what wonderful advances will happen in the cause of Christ. I said yesterday that when we exercise our spiritual gifts, there is going to be fruitfulness and there is going to be fulfillment, 2 F words. Now, the flip side, if I try to serve God without using my spiritual gifts, here is your 3rd F word, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated. So don't try to do anything for which you're not gifted. And there are others who can do that. And you just focus on the use of your spiritual gift, and then you will see how wonderfully joyful and fulfilled you will become, and you will see the fruit of your labor. Now, number 6, the characteristics of fellow workers. They worked side by side. They were a team. And they were not working in isolation. They were working as a unit, as a team, side by side. I want to give you a challenge to read Nehemiah chapter 3. And in this chapter, we discover the exiles returning to Jerusalem in order to rebuild the wall that had been broken down. And under Nehemiah's leadership, these families all came together to rebuild the broken down walls. And there is one phrase that occurs repetitiously in Nehemiah chapter 3. And that's the phrase, next to him, next to him, next to him, next to him. That is working side by side. And the names are mentioned of those who worked very hard at the rebuilding of the walls. We find that people of every strata of society put their shoulders to the wheel. We find entire families working. We find the ladies actively at work, daughters working side by side with their fathers. What a beautiful sight that would have been. And that's how we are called to build the church, to work side by side. Yes, in so doing, We might rub each other the wrong way at times because we are human, but we can always extend the grace of forgiveness and be super glued to each other. Let me repeat that. We need to be super glued to each other and not let the evil one come and try and divide us in this great work, in this good work that God has called us to do. So may we all be counted in the ranks of being fellow workers for this great cause of the Lord Jesus Christ. The Lord bless you. Have a good day today.
For more videos like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Grace Gospel English Church Toronto. Thank you.